Welcome to the Amud Yomi Shiur. Amud Yomi Shiur, Maseches Kiddushin. We are in Daf Mem Gimel Amud Beis. Today's Daf is Mem Daled Amud Aleph, but currently we are still in Mem Gimel Amud Beis, and we are learning for the Hatzlacha of all the captives should all come out very soon. Like the two old people, all of them should come out, and Mashiach should come soon. The soldiers should be Matzliach, soldiers in the back and in the front. Now let's continue. New sugya, Rabbi Isai. Aish Mekadesh is bitoy. Aish Mekadesh is bitoy. We saw that in the Mishnah, a man is in full, not even in charge. A man is the owner of his daughter's Kiddushin as long as she's a Ktana and a Naira. We all know that halachically a girl has three stages to her life: Ktana, Naira, and Gdoilo. Ktana, she is completely Ktana. It's a question if she has any yad, any reshus, she has no chiyuv d'oraisa on anything she does regarding averas, right? That's a ktana, up until she sees two hairs or the age of 12. And then between that and a half year later, it's called nairo. Nairo has more freedom and she's considered a gdoilo, right? Let's say for oinshin, if she's mechal Shabbos chalila, she gets punished, right? She's already an adult. However, nairo has a special status. Although she's above bris mitzvah, the first half year of her adulthood, she's considered to still be under the father for all types of things. The money belongs to him, and the kiddushin also belongs to him. Yeah, the kiddushin, ish mekadesh is bitoy. The father decides it's not such a good thing to do, but be'ikar adin, the father be mekadesh his daughter while she's a ktana or naira, okay, and he's in charge completely. He's the owner of it, and seemingly she is not. Although now we're going to see maybe some questions about that. Says the Gemara, Nan Hosom. Yeah, we learned over there, we learned in a different place in Gittin, Naira Moiroso. Naira Moiroso. Now, Naira Moiroso is a girl who is in that stage between 12 and 12 and a half. Moiroso means what? She doesn't yet live with her husband. She's Mekudeshes, she's an Eshetish. If she's Choite, she gets Skila. However, the father still has rights over her. As long as she's not Nesua, the father still maintains some of the rights. For example, Nedorim. He still shares the responsibility over Nedorim. That's just one example. Naira Moirosa before the chuppah, he v'avia mekablines gita. Says Tanakama, Naira Moirosa, according to Tanakama, to Chachomim, yeah, both she and the father accept her get. The father accepts the get. And we know these psukim from other places. And the get, by the way, why does she get her get? Says Rashi. She's a gdoila naira. She has a yad to receive the get. Says Rashi. It's a big machlokes rishonim. A ktana may also receive her get. Yeah, a ktana may also receive her get. Get is a passive thing. To receive the get, the ktana may do that, and naira may receive her get also. A little get, good one. Mini get. You write a mini one for her especially. Right? And then you have also the father who is mekabel the get for the naira, needless to say the ktana. Why? Well, what's the source? Because we know that if receives her kiddushin, esbitin osati lo isha zeh, we say that the father receives kiddushin for his daughter. And kiddushin and gerushin are always juxtaposed. That's how you call it in our scrollies. Because there's a smichus between gitin and kiddushin, v'yotza v'hoisa. Whatever happens to Kiddushin happens to Gittin. Well, not everything, many things. Mimela what? Mimela, we know that just like the father receives her Kiddushin instead of her, he is the Adli Kiddushin, he's the owner of the Adli Kiddushin, so too, he may receive her get for her. So far, so good. Yeah, that's one of the checkers in the chart I made yesterday night. The Chachomim believe that when it comes to get, both she and the father, by the way, in the chart, I only wrote about the girl. Because the father for sure receives all the time. The father is not even a question. I made it simpler for you. The father is zicher getting the get, and so too she receives her get, either as a naira or a ktana. So far, so good. Omar Rabbi Yehuda says Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda argues. Omar Rabbi Yehuda, ein shtei yadayim zochos ke'echad. No such thing. Says Rabbi Yehuda, she's one person. Yeah, she's one goof. She's one entity, one personality. You can't have two yadayim. As I gave an example yesterday, you can't have, right, two personalities unless you need a psychiatrist. I'm saying, yeah, you can't have two brains, two neshamas. It's one person. And the ability to receive a get, or a get for now, we're talking about a get, is one. Yeah, in other words, it's her, And instead of her, Ela Avi, I'm continuing the Gemara, Mekabel is Gita. Once the Torah told me that that one issue's personality belongs to the father, Gendikt. It's only the father and not the girl. Very simple. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, we're talking now about Gittin. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the girl may not receive her get, only the father. Right? We're going to divide it to Rabbi Yochanan and Shlakish, but that's in the chart. We're not there yet. Right now, Chachamim say when it comes to a get, then both people can receive. And Rabbi Yehuda says no. A girl may not receive her get, even in Naira. Whoa. Why? Because if the father is there, then she's not there. Just to make it clear for everybody and avoid questions, but the Rishonim are asking, there is a mitzvah in which a girl may receive her get or may receive her get for sure, and that is when in Kiddushin and everything, even below bas mitzvah, if the father is dead. If the father is dead, yeah, to be miskadesh, she can't medoraisa, only medorabanan. But let's say the father is dead, she may receive a get, and that she's the one receiving it. Why? Says the Ritva, nisroikno from the father. Now she's the only boss. The boss is dead. The CEO is dead. So is instead of him the vice president, the CEO, the other guy. Now, one second. Now, also, if she's a nesua, thank you, Liv. If she's a nesua, let's say the girl is already married under the chuppah, he cannot receive her get, even if she's under bas mitzvah. So if the father is dead or she's already nesua, then she has koyach. Now we talk about a girl whose father is alive. The father is alive, and she's only in the state of erusin. So she's still attached to him. Says Rabbi Yehuda, only he is the boss, not her. Say Chachamim, either her or the father. That's all. In other words, a guy wants to divorce his 10 years old wife, who's only Moreses, not Nesua. I don't know why, but he thinks she may be too young for him. I'm not sure why. Yeah. Upon second thought, she's a little bit too young, not so experienced, doesn't know how to cook the cholent so well yet at the age of 10. So what do you do? Who do you give the get to? The father is in Chutz La'aretz. Say Chachamim, give the get to her. Says Rabbi Yehuda, no, only to the father, not to the girl. That's the basic machlokes. Comes now another statement, which everyone agrees to. The kol she'en yichol lishmor gita, en yichol lizgaresh. Now, whoever cannot guard or get, a girl who is unable to look after the get and keep it, and be aware of the meaning of the get, and she cannot get divorced. Here comes the whole Pandora's box being opened. Says Rashi, we know halacha. The halacha says, "V'shilcha mibeisoi, yeah, la'apu ki meshalcha v'hichoizeres." A woman who lo aleinu is an adult. Let's move now to the world of adults. Yeah, a woman is an adult. She's 35, but unfortunately, mentally ill or doesn't have the capacity. She's special needs kind of person. So what do? You can't divorce her. Why? Because you can only divorce a woman who goes away upon receiving the get. If the woman depends on her level of shtus, yeah. But if the woman says, "Oh, that was a very nice trip to Bnei Brak to the BSD In, this man I live with gave me that paper into my hand. It was such a cool thing, yeah." And she goes home, and the day later she goes to her father. The day later she comes back home. She doesn't realize the meaning of gerushin. Such a woman you cannot divorce. Okay. Second reason, Rabbanon say that a person who is an adult, Grusha, she got used to having relations, and she is a very easy prey for men who are looking for easy, excuse my language, easy girl. Yeah. And therefore what? And therefore a shaita should not be misgar, should be guarded by being married with her husband. Says Rashi, a ktana who is too young to receive her get. She's 3 years old, but she knows about a get. She's 5 years old. Machlokes is what the age is, by the way. It's on Shulchan Aruch. Let's say she's 4 years old. She really has no idea what a get is, right? I mean, yeah. And then what? Then what do you do with her? Says Rashi, you cannot divorce her neither through her nor through her father. You cannot divorce her bichlal. She's a shaita. She may be a very smart 4 years old. She's the smartest girl in Gan. She knows how to say moidani and another kapit lechtilim. But 4 years old doesn't really know the meaning of divorce, right? And again, she doesn't guard it, she doesn't keep it. And therefore says Rashi, she's the same as a shoita, and she cannot be divorced bichlal. What do? Wait until she grows older, then be megarsher when she's 12, let's say. Okay? Meanwhile, take another wife if without Chemder ben Gersha. Well, Kiddushin you can. No, that's Chiddush HaTorah. No. Kiddushin says the Torah is beaten Tzat Elisha. There is Mechadesh to the girl and Chinami. A girl who's a Ketana may receive Kiddushin through her father. We're going to see later, but leave Kiddushin alone for now. Believe me, you're going to have Kiddushin, shouldn't say coming out of your ears because we love Torah. Your question will be dealt with, far and wide. Let's leave that for now. Let's concentrate on Gittin. Now, in Gittin, says Tosfos, Ritva, and I saw other Rishonim. No. They all argue on Rashi. Say no. A girl who doesn't understand what a get is, she has a father. The father may receive her get. Why? Because the whole business of Meshal Chavi Chozeres, or she will be Nigrar Achar HaBochrim, she'll go after the Bochrim, not the good ones yet. She'll start being, easy with the boys and they'll take advantage of her. That doesn't apply to a Ktana who her father guards her. The Ritva says the father guards the get, so somebody's showing her the get. He guards her, not to go back home. He tells his 5 years old, no, Hindalesh, Princele, don't go to that man. That's it, all over with him. I'm locking the door. Goodbye. Yeah, she's under his control at that age still. And what happens? You choshesh with the bochrim, the father will guard her. She's a little girl. Her parents make sure that she doesn't go. And anyways, Ktana doesn't have taiba. Ktana doesn't have sexual yetzer hara. It's not such a big deal. Some Rishonim say, therefore, there's no problem. So those Rishonim believe that she can be, that the father may receive her get, not her. That's all. Weiter. Omar Ishlakish. Okay. Now comes Machlokes Ishlakish and Rabbi Yochanan about Kiddushin. Oh, Tzvi, soon you're going to get your answer. Up until now, let's summarize the very easy Machlokes. 1 point of Machlokes between Chachamim and Rabbi Yehuda. I don't have the chart. You have to help me. Chachamim say what? That really, when it comes to Gittin, either she or the father, even she may receive the get, Ktana and Naira. Rabbi Yehuda says no. A Ktana or Naira, even, says Rashi, may not receive her get. Easy. What about Kiddushin? May a Naira receive Kiddushin? So now let me tell you. The Ran says, and I saw it also in the Meiri, and it's much more clearly later in the Gemara. Before we continue, it's important to know, what was the title in the Hebrew I wrote? Which word did I write? Naira or Ktana? Naira. Oh. Ektana, why? And I erased the word after I saw the Rishonim. Ektana, yes, Ektana may not receive her Kiddushin for sure. Ektana cannot receive her Kiddushin. She has no yad to accept Kiddushin, only the Tate. So you should be happy now. Ektana does not receive Kiddushin. However, there's a Machlokes whether a Naira, who's Baras Das, a Naira is 12. She's Chayiv Misa. She can do many things. Yeah, she's an independent person in a way. And in Naira, on the other hand, the Torah said the father is in charge of her Kiddushin. The question now comes, and that's a question of today. That's all question we're going to deal with today. That's one question. Can a Naira or cannot a Naira, do what? Receive her Kiddushin independently from the independent of the father. That's a question. Says Resh Lakish, Omer Resh Lakish, Kemachloikes legerushin, kach machloikes lekiddushin. Says Resh Lakish, I like easy life. Same Machlokes of Gerushin, Machlokes of Kiddushin, meaning, just like by Gerushin, we say that Chachamim say yes, and Rabbi Yehuda says no. So to by Kiddushin, Chachamim will say yes, and Rabbi Yehuda will say no. You can see Resh Lakish in the chart. Very simple. Machlokes, same thing. Why not? Because Yad is Yad. Yeah. Do we believe that 2 separate Yadayim can work separately, or do we need one unanimous one Yad? Okay. Kiddushin and Gerushin are 2 sides of the same coin. Says Resh Lakish, weiter, life is good, same thing. Mashe'en ken Rabbi Yochanan amar no. Says Rabbi Yochanan, Machlokes legerushin. In Gerushin, they argue whether the Naira may or may not receive her get. Aval Kiddushin, bam, 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 bam. Divrah kol aviv Elohi. Says Rabbi Yochanan, everyone agrees, even Chachamim agreed, but Kiddushin, she cannot be miskadesh. And that's the name of the game. Yeah, the background is blue, right? Why? I wanted to show the contrast between the yes and no, between Ken and Lo. Ken means yes and Lo means no. Yeah, that's teaching something, right? So then, listen, you're in RBS. I don't know how far the Hebrew goes here. Yeah. So basically, what's the point of B'yochanan Achidish? All of a sudden, out of the blue, yeah. What do we say? That according to Chachamim, when it comes to Kiddushin, Chachamim agree she may not receive her Kiddushin. A get she may receive, and Kiddushin she may not receive the Ktana, according to Chachamim. And the question is, of course, why? This Rish Lakish is consistent, right? In other words, Rabbi Yehuda doesn't believe in her doing anything, and Chachamim believe in her doing everything. Hashem, according to Rabbi Yochanan, all of a sudden we have this kind of interesting difference between Kiddushin and Gerushin. Gerushin Ektana may receive, and Kiddushin she may not receive, according to Chachamim. According to Rabbi Yochanan, according to Chachamim. And the question is, Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina, Faravos, Frekt Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina, my time the Rabbi Yochanan liba the Rabbanon. Why is that? What's the reason Rabbi Yochanan, according to Rabbanon, to differentiate between Gerushin, in which she is receiving the Gerushin by herself? The father may not be even aware of it. It's also a question, by the way. The father may not be aware, as opposed to what? As opposed to Kiddushin, where she may not receive her own Kiddushin as a Ktana, does she or doesn't she have a yad? Make up your mind. Answers the same, Rabbi Yosef Bar Chanina, the same Amoira answers himself. Gerushin, the machneses atzma l'shus avia, ben hi ubein avia. Gerushin, what happens when she gets divorced from the Erusin? Who is she now belonging to? The father. She was no chuppah. Once it was nisuin, she's out of your realm completely. Shalom velo litraot. Goodbye and finished. But Erusin, there's, you know how Erusin in my mind works like Erusin of Ktana or Naira? There's a string attached. You're still with the husband. You're the husband. There's a string attached. Once the husband is out, she's pulled back to who? To the father. And therefore, by Gerushin, then it's not working against the father. It's working for the father. The father receives her back. So he doesn't have to know about it or do it or need it. It's automatically under his auspices. Rashi says, Nichale, it's good for him. I don't know if people like to see the kids divorced. It's not about Nichale that he's happy. It's working under his authority. She's back to his authority. So Mimela, she can do it alone because really it's working for him. Can you do a bank transfer to someone's bank without his permission? Yes. Get the details legally, technically, yes. If you have the details, you do the transfer. Can you transfer money out of someone's account without his permission? He won't give you the code to the internet, and the bank won't allow you. Same idea over here. Kiddushin, the mafkas atzon milshus avia. Kiddushin, she's getting out of the domain of the father. Oh, you're getting out of my domain, girl. Excuse me. Avia velohi. It's only the father and not her. Very, very good. That's svara number one. We're going to reject it and then return to the svara, but that's the idea. By Gerushin, she's into the father's reshut, so he doesn't have to know. He's marviach. He's getting her back. Shenkin Gerushin, excuse me, Shenkin Kiddushin, she's leaving the father. She's going towards the husband, towards the husband, leaving the house, leaving his authority. He has to be he's the one authorized in charge. He is the owner, actually, of her ability to leave his home. He's in charge. That's it. Very good. Now we're going to see a third factor. I didn't put it on the chart on purpose because it's not be confusing. I did, and I erased it afterwards. And there's a third item here which is going to accompany us through the shiur. It's called ma'amar, mimer. Mimer applies to a yevama. What's a mimer, Rabbi Isai? Mimer is, as I want to ask you a question. Midoraisa, a yevama, yeah, that her husband died. Now she has a few brothers-in-law that are called the Yevamim. What's the relationship between her and the Yevamim? Starts with the Zayin, Zika. And now there's connection between them. What has to happen for her to be fully legally married to one of the brothers-in-law? No, fully connected, not the other way. You're talking like 2024. Today we don't do it. What do we do? Bia. Just having relations with nothing else before. No ceremony. Yeah. No chicken served at the chasana, no white gown, nothing. Just bia, and that's it. She's automatically his wife. That's the way it works. However, what did Rabbanon establish? For certain reasons, Rabbanon established like a Rabbanon dike Kiddushin, invented by Rabbanon, called Ma'amar. He tells her, Machlokes Rishonim. Rashi says he tells her at Mekudesh Li. I saw other Rishonim saying otherwise a few months ago. Don't remember, but he says to her, "Yeah, Arat Mekudesh Li," and he gives her Kiddushin according to Rashi. It's like I shouldn't say fake, but it's like a Darabanan Dika make believe Kiddushin. And once she has mimer with one guy, with one of her brothers, it's a Mashorim family. They have 12 brothers. Yeah, one died without children. She has 11 Yavomim. Which one would she go for? The one who did the mimer. Mimer means she's already on her way to become the Yavama, and when they'll do Bia, she'll be his full wife. And if they want to stop that, if they want to regret, they need to get a get midrabanan for the mimer and also chalitza. So Maimer is like a Durabanan, the idea of Kiddushin pre as a as like an earlier stage, right? A pre-stage before the Bia of the Yibum. Okay, that's what Maimer is in 60 seconds. Okay.
If there's 12,
there are 12 brothers.
If there's 12 possibilities, 12 brothers, one died, there's 11 left.
Mm-hmm.
So
she has Zika with all of them. Potential Zika applies to not only the Bechor. It's a common mistake. It's a mitzvah on the Bechor, but it's not only the Bechor. In other words, when he dies, and this is important to know, the second he got Lo Aleinu, the bullet from Imach Shimo from Hamas, and he's dead, right? The one from Yasharim went to the army. Yeah, and then what? And then boom, he's dead. That very second, she has potential Zika. Imagine yourself like a line between her and all 11 brothers. Potential. Whichever one will maximize the potential will be her husband. How do you maximize the potential? Bia. They go to the room, they do Bia and Gendict. Rabbanan made another more sneer sneaky idea, so to speak. The dead brother wants her and she wants him. Let's say that's the way it works. Then what? They do Maimer and then Bia. And then after the Maimer, the other 10 cannot touch her. The Rabbanan.
Physical, verbiage, verbal.
It's a Kiddushin.
According
to Rashi, it's a Kiddushin. Yeah, Rashi says it here. It's a Kiddush for me. Yeah, Maimer is the Kiddushin. He tells her at Mukadesh. Rashi says it later, and he gives her money. Yeah, according to Rashi, Maimer is just a Kiddushin, but it's very different to Kiddushin because regular Kiddushin, as I'm sure you know after learning Perkis Doraisa, regular Kiddushin, when you're Mekadesh your wife, like a few years ago, then what was Doraisa? Before then there was nothing, and after that it's everything. By Yavama, it's not. There was Zika before. There will be Bia later. This is like an interim stage the Rabbanan established. And now she's meyuchad to the guy who did I saw you, who did the Maimer, and not to the other 9 brothers. No. Yavama, Bia, even the oinus she's is Yavama. Yavama is automatic, even by mistake. Even if Chas v'Shalom, I don't like the example, they were drunk and they had relations. The Yavam is the Metzias that wants her together. She's his wife. Why? Because there was Zika already. The reason I'm being so nice to you and allow you the questions for so long, because this is all important for the next part of the sugya. You have to understand, Yibum is not like I see a girl in the street and then I go and shidduchim for 5 times and then I marry her and I have no connection to her before. A Yavama, as I told you, has connection already to all the Yavamim. The Bia just finishes off the potential already. But she's already half their wife of all of them before that. The Bia will just actualize it, and that's why Bia doesn't need her askoma. It's just doing the Maki Bepatish of the Zika. Okay.
She doesn't have to say I agree.
No.
She can just remain silent.
No, even the Kiddushin should remain silent. Even less than that. She can say I don't want, and she still is Yibama. Even if it's honest her, she's his wife. Unbelievable. Yeah. Yavam Baal Kocha, we saw before, I'm going to see it later. Yosef is very, very patient, Yosef. I'm going to give you a Midas award. Good, now that we know what Maimer is, we have already a bit of knowledge of Maimer. Hey, Maimer, look at Maimer. Maimer, let's say there's a case of Maimer of a Ketana. Imagine yourself the following story. There's a Ketana or Naira. She was Me'ureses, not fully married. She's Me'ureses / Mekudeshes to a guy. What happened with him? He's Muras to 10 years old. Then he got a heart attack and died from the idea. Dead. Now, he has brothers. So that little girl who had Erusin Midoraisa, she's married, not married as we say in the Western world, but she's Mekudeshes / Me'ureses Midoraisa. Her father received her Kiddushin, let's say, right, to the first guy. That guy is dead. Now she has 10 brothers that one of them may choose her, and one of them will do Maimer to her. Is her father still involved? Generally, yes, because it's only Erusin, I told you, not Nisuin. As long as the stage is Erusin, it's a twilight zone, her daddy is still in the picture. So her daddy's in the picture was only Erusin. Her original fiance / husband, Orus, died. She now has to face other brothers. One of them do Maimer. Who does he do the Maimer to? Her or her father or either one? Look at Maimer. The Mafkas Atzmei by the Maimer, she's now leaving the father's domain, right? She's not the father's anymore. she will soon, after the Maimar, go to one of the brothers, to Shmerel Beryl, and then she'll be Shmerel Beryl's wife, right, at the age of 10, 9, and not the father, not belonging to the father. So Maimar clearly is similar to Kiddushin, not to Gittin, and yet, here comes a big question. This question is going to follow us the whole time. Betnan, listen to this. It says here in the Mishnah, Tana mina erusin. As I told you, she's a Ktana mina erusin, meaning at the age of 9, she got meureses to one guy. He went, that one guy fought in Gaza. He's 20, right? And then what? Her brothers are looking to do mimer for her. The Ka'alocha. Tana mina erusin en oisim ba mimer el midas avia. Only to the father. Everyone agrees to that. I told you before, Tzvina, you should be happy. You see that a Ktana, only the father may receive her mimer. In other words, you can do a mimer only under her father's permission, her father's reshus, the father's full authority when it comes to Kiddushin of Ktana, and that we're not bothered by. That we always know. That's a fact we leave on the side. Here comes big fun. Here comes a question. The Naira, ben midas atzma, ben midas avia. And Naira can do it me'atzma. And Naira, without the father's knowledge, without the father's consent, without the father being involved, is sleeping in bed. And now the girl, what does she do? She receives mimer from one of the brothers-in-law, one of the Yevamim, and that's absolutely fine. What? Well, the only ones Ke'ilu that can say it, Pashtus, are who? Are Chachamim, that they believe also the girl can be involved. Wait, you, Rabbi Yochanan, what did you say? You said, what's the formula? If she's going out of the father's reshus, such as Kiddushin, then she cannot receive the Kiddushin. Look, it's glaringly against what you're saying. In Maimer, she's going away from the father, further into that other family, the brother of the dead soldier, and yet you see that she can do it herself without the father. Big question, Rabbi Yochanan. Ela it marachit. So we reject that logic, and therefore we reject the explanation that we gave to Rabbi Yochanan, and we explain now Rabbi Yochanan differently. Excuse me. Thank you, Yitzchok. If you want to learn, this is how you should learn Rabbi Yochanan. The same Amoyer, by the way, giving a different explanation. What's the real reason? Let's get to the real reason why Rabbi Yochanan says, according to Rabbanon, that there's a difference between Kiddushin and Gittin. Gittin she may receive and Kiddushin she may not receive. And that is as follows. Kiddushin the midaita avia velohi. Let me ask you a simple question before we begin. Before Cherem Derbenu Gershom, before the first women's rights person, I'm not joking, by the way, before the first women's rights fighter, there was, Rabbeinu Gershom, before he made all kinds of takonots for women, really, he said he wants to do it because people are abusing the wives, he said, of course. So one thing he did, and that what did he say about get? Can he divorce a woman against her will? She doesn't want to get divorced. She wants to go to the counselor, psychologist. She'll be a better wife. She'll cook him blinches every day. And he says, no, I've had it too much. 2 weeks without blinches, can't take it. Goodbye. Your mother-in-law came twice already. So then what? I'm asking a question. Can a person with Oraisa divorce his wife against her will? Yes or no? Yes. Can you be Mekadesh woman against her will? Arat Mekadeshesli, you're my wife. Yes or no? Oh, there's a difference. Kiddushin has to be with her das. She's not an active person. She's standing on the chuppah passively, but she has to agree. Mashenkin Gerushin, she doesn't have to agree. Here lies the story. Here is the real difference. Let's read again. Kiddushin the midaita, a kiddushin that her or her party, the das of the wife is involved, avia velohi, the father and not her. When the Torah said that the father is the one receiving the kiddushin, he's in charge. How can you work against me? I'm the CEO of the company called Little Girl, and you, little girl, you have no right to start doing things without me knowing. It doesn't work like that because the das is mine, not yours. You decided at the age of 5 you want to marry that piece of garbage, excuse my language. I decided no such question. Yeah, no such thing. And even if the father wanted later, it's a machlokes afterwards, I'm in charge. It's a question of agreeing. You agree? What do you mean you agreed? I'm the father, I'm in charge, and I didn't agree. It's up to me. Gerushin, on the other hand, about korcho, beini ben avia. Gerushin anyhow is a forced thing. Gerushin is only up to who? The husband. So what difference does it make, says Rashi, if the husband, against the will of the recipient, sticks it in the hand of the father or sticks it in the hand of the girl? Same thing. So you can't say, what do you mean charge? What's the out of charge? You stand there like a statue and he puts the get in your hand and you don't have to think of anything. Think of England, I don't know what. And therefore what? Who cares if it's the father or her? Very, very simple logic. And therefore in that case, she also may receive the get, even according to Chachamim, that say that she receives a get by herself because she has a yad, but she doesn't have the das to get Kiddushin. For Kiddushin, you need more than yad, you need das. Das only belongs to the father, not to the girl. That's the answer. What about Mimer? Obviously, the question is, how did you answer my question? I'm asking you for Mimer. Mimer stays all the time the same. Remember, if I would have added it to the chart, Mimer, everyone agrees that the Naira may be given a Mimer. Yes. And Naira can get Mimer to herself without the father involved. Why? Look, what's the difference? Hare Mimer, the Midaita, excuse me. Mimer is Midaita. Mimer, she has to be a willing partner, a willing party, your participant here, to receive the Kiddushin of Mimer, the Ktani Beni Uben Avia. And yet it says that she or the father receive. So you see that she can get it even though it's something of das. Maybe the father is not interested in her being a mimer with a guy. So how are you answering the question? Answers the Gemara. And here you see that what you said before is relevant. Answers the Gemara. Hasam b'maimer de bal korcho. Oh, v'rebi. The Mishnah over there believes that mimer can be done to a girl even of any age, even against her will, and that works according to Rebbe. And that's therefore very good. Now we understand why Maimer, ironically, joined the party of Gittin and not the party of Kiddushin. Although Maimer seemingly is very much like Kiddushin, it's a kind of Kiddushin, one second, but they share one thing in common with Gittin. Gittin is against her will, and Maimer too is against her will. And that's in those cases, very good, brilliant. And therefore there, the girl can do it herself, because anyhow, nobody has to agree. And nobody has to agree. Mashenk and Kiddushin, where there's full agreement from that party, agreement belongs only to the father, not to the girl. That's what Rabbi Yochanan says, according to Chachamim. I'd like to continue, unless it's a technical question. Yeah, okay, yeah. The Rebbe, yeah, I'm listening. The Rebbe, the Tanya. Now, only Rebbe believes that a Maimer can be done by Korcha. Meaning, what I told you before was about Bia. If the guy comes on her, excuse me, and there's Bia, even Bal Korcha, she's Yavoma. She's Mukudesh, she's his Yom, she's his wife. Maimer is not full Yibum. Maimer is a stage before, and that's a Machlokes Tannaim, whether that can be done Bal Korcha or not. The Tanya, let's see the Brisa. A person actually, I think Rashi says you're Mefurish, if I'm not mistaken, he did it without Daita. He actually threw the Kiddushin at her. He told her, Are at Mikudeshes li, here Shalom Daita. Rashi says something very interesting. He says, Zorak lakesef, Omer loret Mikudeshes li. He threw her the money into her hands, and he told her, Aret Mikudeshes li. Usually such things don't work. By Yibum, meaning Maima, according to Rebbe, it works. Why? Let's see. Rebbe says it was koine. Koine doesn't mean fully married anyways, because there's no bia. It's not like regular Kiddushin. It means that the other brothers stay away, and also that she cannot do chalitza. Chalitza alone won't be enough. She needs a get. She doesn't do chalitza. She needs to get from the Maimer, and other brothers, no way. Now, the Chachamim Oimrim, lo ikono. Chachamim say, no, lo ikono. Bal Korcha, you can't do Maimer Bal Korcha. My time at the Rebbe. What's Rebbe's reason Maimer can be done Bal Korcha? Gomer Mebiyam di Ivama. He says, what can we? This is the Rabbanan. Rabbanan invented a new idea called what? Maimer. Let's try and test what's Maimer most similar to. I think, says Rebbe, it's most similar to Yavama, to Bia of Yavama, to the real Yibum of Bia. Ma Bia di Yavama Bal Korcha, Vachanami Bal Korcha. Just like Bia, which is the real deal, which is the final real stage of Yibum, can be done Bal Korcha, so to Maimer can be done Bal Korcha. Maimer, what's Maimer? Bia light, Yibum light, right? So the real Yibum can be done Bal Korcha. Maimer also bal korcho. It's a ripple of that. Rabbanon Savri, Rabbanon say no. Yelfinam Kiddushin. It's true that it's to do with Yibum, but what's Maimer similar to in form? To Kiddushin. Ma Kiddushin de Midaita, Afachinami de Midaita. Just like Kiddushin are Midaita, only with her consent, you cannot marry a woman against her will. So to this is Midaita, is only by her will to get the Maimer. B'maika Miflagi. What's the depth of the Machlokes between Tanakama and Rebbe and Chachomim? Rebbe Sova Mili Diavoma, Miavoma Havel Melach. I believe that Mili matters, ideas, halachos of Yavama. You learn from Yavama. I believe that the connection, the mafia over here is Yavama and Yavama. Learn Yavama X to Yavama Y, meaning from Bia of Yavama to Maimer of Yavama. Rabbanan Savri, Kiddushin Mikidushin, Havel Melach. Rabbanan say no, you learn Kiddushin from Kiddushin. In other words, since Maimer in its form, in its style, is much more like Kiddushin, therefore you learn it from Kiddushin. Let's summarize, not to lose a context, not to lose the direction over here. We answered Rabbi Yochanan very, very nicely. Yeah, we answered Rabbi Yochanan very, very nicely. What did Rabbi Yochanan say? Rabbi Yochanan say, according to the explanation of Rabbi Yossi Bar Chanina, what is that? What did we say? When it comes to Chachomim, there's a difference between Gitin and Kiddushin, and Maimer belongs to one of those boxes. Which one? Gitin. Gitin is something done against her will, or his will, or anyone's will. Her father, whoever, their party, it's against the will. So who cares? Who cares if the father stands like a statue, like a sculpture, or she? Nobody, they can be brain dead. So I'm saying they don't have to think about, they accept it's done automatically. So who cares? Mashenk and Kiddushin, that's a decision. Making decisions without the CEO. Yeah. In other words, the decisions with the father. He's a balabais over the Kiddushin and after. Very simple. Maimer. It's a smoke screen. You think Maimer is like Kiddushin? It's similar to Kiddushin. But according to Rebbe, it's similar to Yibum. And therefore what? It can be done against their will without anyone's consent. And therefore same thing. It's a Gerushin. And therefore by what? By Maimer. According to Rabbanon in Maimer, a Naira may receive the Maimer without the father's knowledge, similar to a get, because we don't need anyone's agreement. Beautiful. And the Gemara now supports it. The Gemara now goes further to prove it and to assert what we said. The teretz which I just Baruch Hashem explained to you makes sense. It's mistaber. It's likely that what we said is true. How do we know? It says in the seifa of that brisa, of that Mishnah, yeah, it says there, Masha'enken bekiddushin. Whoa, did you hear that? The Mishnah said outright, black and white, Masha'enken bekiddushin. Hear that? In other words, we say that in kiddushin she may not receive independently. The naira cannot get kiddushin. That's black and white, Chachomim, according to Rabbi Yochanan. Very good. Yeah. Maimar, she may receive, because that's against her will. Kiddushin, when she's a decision maker, she may not receive. Break the Gemara, up until now, we attacked Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan is so successful now. Who's been very quiet all this time? Shlakish. Remind me what Rosh Lakish says? Please remind me of Shlakish. You have the charts. Says Rosh Lakish, yes. Says Rosh Lakish, according to Chachomim, then according to Chachomim, just like she may receive her Gitin, she may receive her Kiddushin, no problem. Why? I'm not going with all the stories of decisions. There's one simple thing called Yad, and since Chachomim believe both Yadayim can alternatively work, hers or her husband or her father's, same thing goes, Gitin, Kiddushin, I'm cool about it. So now, wait. Now that's not good. We said Masha'en can be Kiddushin. Look, the Mishnah outright said a Naira may receive Maimer and not Kiddushin. Ela ne'emet evit yuvta Rosh Lakish. This may be now a question on Rosh Lakish, right? Rosh Lakish said before it's not like that. He said that the Naira may receive her Kiddushin, and the Mishnah says no. Amar Rosh Lakish, easy answer. Who did Rosh Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan argue about? Inside whose world did they argue? Chachamim. What about Rabbi Yehuda? Did you notice Rabbi Yehuda is completely the Tana Rabbi Yehuda, right? And Rabbi Yehuda says nothing, no Gitin, no Kiddushin. I don't believe in the girl doing anything. Amal Chesh Lakish, easy. Oh, money. You know the author of that Mishnah you're attacking me from? Rabbi Yehuda. It's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda said, "Domer in shtei yadayim zoches keachas." Very good. In other words, Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says two hands cannot gain, and therefore a maimar. Oh, we have to know why maimar she may receive. It's a big question, Rabbi Yehuda, which is coming up soon. But right now, before you attack me, I'll tell you easy. This Mishnah that says she may not receive Kiddushin is Rabbi Yehuda. Of course, Rabbi Yehuda says she doesn't get Kiddushin or Gitin or anything. Correct the Gemara, two questions on that. Question number one. Rabbi Yehuda, if you want to tell me that this, again, what did the Mishnah say? She may receive Maimer money, she may not receive Kiddushin. And you tell me it's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda, B'shenken b'Kiddushin, B'shenken b'Gerushin miboilei. Let me ask you a question. What's, you tell me, I'm not going to answer until you tell me. What's the bigger chiddush of Rabbi Yehuda? That a girl doesn't get her kiddushin or that she doesn't get her gittin? What do you think is the bigger chiddush? What she doesn't get, think. She doesn't get kiddushin is a chiddush or doesn't get gittin is a bigger chiddush? Gittin. And the winner is parents. Today's your day. I'll tell you why. It's confusing. Not to receive is the bigger chiddush. Why? When you receive kiddushin, it's a conscious decision. Then I can hear, like Chachamim, like others, yet Kiddushin, like Rabbi Yochanan, decisions, with all due respect to a cutesy 5 years old, don't make your own decisions, girl, yeah? You think they know how to get married, not even the age of 18, let alone the age of 5, yeah? So I can understand Rabbi Yehuda. But now we're saying something else. Even Gittin has to stand like a statue, like nothing, and receive the get. Even that, right? Even that should have been, and therefore that should have been what Mishnah says. The Mishnah should have maximized the Chiddush. We like to talk about strong, intense Chiddushim. I'm repeating. Rabbi Yehuda, Mashenken b'Kiddushin, Mashenken b'Gerushin miboilei. According to Rabbi Yehuda, you should have told me the bigger Chiddush. Not that she doesn't receive Kiddushin, even Gerushin she doesn't get. Bishlam, according to Chachamim, according to Rabbi Yochanan, and Chinami, Kiddushin she doesn't get, and Gerushin yes. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, why don't you show all your colors, pull out all your guns, even Gerushin? It doesn't sound like the style of Rabbi Yehuda. And Chinami says the Gemara, true. Logically, you would have been right. However, I did the Tan and Maimer, the Damila Kiddushin, Tanenami Mashenken Kiddushin. It's a stylistic thing. I'll tell you something which I see more and more and more the more I learn, Baruch Hashem. Mishnayos, how to interpret the Mishnah or Brisa between Tannaim, Machlokes Rishonim. Many times the question is, what do you care about more, the style of the writing or the content, the Chiddushim? Here says Reish Lakish, I care about the style, meaning, although logically speaking, it would have been much more intense to show the maximum chiddush of Rabbi Yehuda, even Gerushin she doesn't get. He's the only one who believes that. True. But stylistically, what are we talking about over here? We're talking about Maimer. The main issue here, the title of the topic is Maimer. If you'd have to, Maimer of Ktana, underage Maimer, that's the title of the Mishnah. So the contrast of Maimer, it's more similar to Maimer, is Kiddushin, not Gerushin. He believes that Chachamim, Maimer is a type of Kiddushin. Because we spoke about Maimer, that's a kind of Kiddushin, we contrast that with regular Kiddushin, and that's why we talk that way. We say Maimer, she may receive because of whichever reason we'll see soon. Kiddushin, she may not receive because they're similar. We compare chalk to something to whiteboard. We don't compare chalk and cheese. Americans, chalk and cheese is apples and oranges in Britain. Yeah. So we compare two things that are similar, and we don't compare chalk and cheese. We compare cheese to milk. Okay. We want to stay, at home with Kiddushin and Maimer. Rabbi Yehuda. Now comes the big question. Rabbi Yehuda, Maishna Maimer. Very nice. According to Reish Lakish, what did the Mishnah say? Again, let's summarize according to Reish Lakish. We're now Reish Lakish land. According to Reish Lakish, tell me guys, according to Reish Lakish, according to Chachamim, what do we say? She may do everything. According to Rabbi Yehuda, what? According to Reish Lakish, Gitin, Kiddushin? No. Low. So now, Rabbi Yehuda, what about Maimer? According to Rabbi Yehuda, can she get the Naira? Yes. Why? If Rabbi Yehuda believes she has no hand whatsoever, Gitin, Kiddushin, she's a non-entity, this Naira, what's Maimer all of a sudden doing here? Because whichever way you look at it, up until now, we were dancing between, is Maimer more similar to this, Maimer more similar to that? You're cornered. Because Maimer, either you compare it to Gitin or Kiddushin, you're stuck. Because both Gitin and Kiddushin, according to Rabbi Yehuda, is only the father. How come Maimer the girl can do herself? Well, what's special about Maimer that's different to everybody else? Maimer, all of a sudden, a girl can do on her own. Vosidos answers the Gemara, and that's also to do with what I told you before. Thank you for your question. Rabbi Yehuda, Maishna Maimer, very good. As we said, Maimer is very different to both Gittin and Kiddushin. Maimer, as I want to say what you said online because I didn't see it online. Parrot said a very nice idea over here. When a woman stands the first time in her life, and hopefully the last, or so she thought, under the traditional Jewish huppah, then she knows that he has brothers. So she knows, I hope she was taught that in B'Yakov, that she remembers Chumash Dvarim. And what? What does she know? If he dies, he's going to war now. You know, after they do that nowadays, right? After Shabrochos, he goes back to either Miluim or Sadir. He goes to fight, and then what? If he dies, what do you think is going to happen to you? You'll fall into the zika of the brothers-in-law, right? And she's aware of that, and in a way, she agrees to that. Yeah, consciously or not, it's part of her marriage agreement. It's part of the package. When he dies, nothing new really started. It's all a continuation. There's automatic. It's a long sequel of things. Marriage to him is dead. What happens next? Then we have Zika automatically. The Maimer is not something new. The Maimer continues the existing Zika. When you marry a woman, a second before she was your wife, maybe you love her and you dated her 2 years, I don't know, all kinds of lifestyles, but halachically, you have no relation to that wife whatsoever. The second you put the ring on the finger, she became your wife. A second before she wasn't. Same thing with Gershon. A second before the get, she would complete Eshetis. She would get chenek if she's mizana. A second after the get, go do whatever you want, right? So therefore, it's very, very dichotomy. Mashenken by Zika, it's a gray area, and the Maimer is the giving another push in the right direction of Maimer. Mimela, the Naira can receive it. When it's a real thing, to make a real change in her life of Yad, either Gittin or Kiddushin, only the Tate says who? Says Rabbi Yehuda, according to everyone. Rabbi Yehuda. Masha'enken, when it comes to Zika, Zika is a gray area that's becoming a bit more black, kind of, yeah? And therefore, it's not such a big thing. Even B'mashu, even the girl herself can receive the Maimer. Das is Pshat. Now we're going all the way back to the beginning. We left Rabbi Yochanan and went to Rish Lakish, back to Rabbi Yochanan. Zok the Gemara, hashta dosis lahochi. Now that you came to this svara of Maimer being different to everything else we know about, Gittin or Kiddushin, because Maimer is weaker. Maimer is just, another nail in the story, another cog in the machine. According to this, Rabbi Yochanan Nami loitik shilach meikoro. The original question we asked on Rabbi Yochanan is not difficult. Remember what we tied against Rabbi Yochanan? What was Rabbi Yochanan's first explanation? We said by Gittin, we say she is coming to his reshus. By Kiddushin, she's leaving his reshus. And then we screamed at Rabbi Yochanan, hey, Maimer, she's leaving his reshus. She's going away from the father. So how come she can do it on her own? That's the answer. Shiny Maimer very good. Maimer, I don't care what Maimer is like. It can be like Kiddushin, like Gittin, like my grandmother. It doesn't make a difference. Because Maimer is always weaker than any other issue's action. Either Gittin or Kiddushin, going in, going out, going anywhere you want. It doesn't make a difference anymore. The Maimer will always be her domain because it's so insignificant. Because Maimer is less than all others. It's only there's already marriage, already Zika, already everything. It's a Doraisa. Zika's Doraisa. A Yavam who goes and has znus or marriage with another guy, it's an Issa Doraisa. Yeah, before she has Chalitza or Yibum, right? Well, Yibum should be the other with the brother. And therefore, Maimer is a klein ezach. A klein ezach, a klein a girl can do. That applies even to Rabbi Yochanan, both Rabbi Yochanan and Shtakish. Let's summarize. You have the chart, you have it all. I'm going to email the chart to our participants at home. Let's review. According to Chachamim, what do we say? No, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is saying very simply, Rabbi Yehuda says one woman, one entity, one girl has no two hands. Hopefully, most of us have two hands, but Yad L'Kiddushin or Gerushin exclusively the fathers only. Naira, even a Naira, right? Koshke Nektana. Maimer, leave me alone from Maimer. Maimer is a different story. Maimer is not real Yad. Maimer is like a symbolic thing. She's already halfway there. We give another push towards one Zika with Shloimele and not with Shimele. That's all. Yeah, it's a Dorabanadika thing, not as much. That's now, according to Chachomim, Chachomim Rish Lakish are also very clear. Chachomim, according to Rish Lakish, are also consistent. What do they say? She can do anything. Why? There could be Shtei Yadayim. It could be the father is the Yad, the Kiddushin, and she also has her own Yad, the Kiddushin. She's a Naira, and even Ktana forget. Get even Ktana, all you need is to extend your hand. Now, what about Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbanon? That was the problem. Why is Rabbi Yochanan, according to Rabbanon, why is he telling us, why is it differentiate between Gittin and Kiddushin? We saw two different svars. Why is it that according to Rabbi Yochanan, according to Rabbanon, we say that to receive the Kiddushin, she cannot, but to receive the get, she can. Why? Reason number one, really everything is under the father. Yeah, if it's an automatic thing, which nobody needs, no. For the first one wasn't it? Sorry. The first one was, the reason was coming in versus coming out. Gittin, she's out of the husband, back into the father. Coming into the father, we don't need his reshus. He wants it, it's coming into him. It's like bank transfer into your account, not out of it. Koyach, more the better. Mashenken, which is coming out of him, going out into Kiddushin, into the husband's reshus, we need his permission. He's in charge of our Kiddushin. Can't take money out of the account, right? What about the other svara? The other svara was a different svara in Rabbi Yochanan. Second explanation, das. When you have to stand there like a sculpture, like a statue, and receive the get, who cares if it's your father? What's the big authority over here? You stand like a klotz, and he's giving you the get. The father is also not can't decide. He may be oines the father to receive the get. The father doesn't want the divorce. Who cares? Mashenken bekiddushin, it's a decision. A decision. Only the father does it, makes a decision in that house, in that situation, and not her. Very good. Good? Clear? Nice? Is Torah sweet? I think so. Weiter. Now, Tanan, let's see the following question. Tanan, we saw in our very Mishnah, Aish Mekadish is Bitoy Kshinaira, Boy Ubeshluchoy, right? We saw a man may be Mekadish his daughter when she's a Naira, either the man or the Shliach of the man may receive the Kiddushin, and then the Naira automatically is Mekudeshes. What do we see? Boy Ubeshluchoy in. It seems like only he may receive her Kiddushin, him and his emissaries and his people and his proxy people. But Shlucha, she's not. She cannot receive the Kiddushin at all. Tufta do Shlakish. Question on Shlakish. Shlakish said, according to Rabbanon, then Enachinami, she may receive her Kiddushin. What's the very, very expected answer Shlakish is going to give us? Shlakish can always run back to the safe haven called Rabbi Yehuda. It's always first wide line. What's the problem? A Mishnah follows Rabbi Yehuda. Many times we have that. We have Mishnahs that are, anonymous, and you have to follow one Tana. I'm cool. Well, what do you want from my life? This Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda was always a hardliner. He's not into girls being independent, regarding nothing. Maimer is different story. Maimer is not here, Bechlau. When it comes to real deal, Gittin, Kiddushin, only the father only, leave me alone, it's Rabbi Yehuda. Frag the Gemara, no. We're not going to explain the question now, just the outline, and that's where we're going to pick up from tomorrow. What the Gemara will do now, I'm preparing you for tomorrow, the Gemara will at least try to prove that this Mishnah cannot follow Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Rabbi Yehuda is the only solution for Reish Lakish, right? That it's Rabbi Yehuda. The Gemara will attempt to prove that since the following Mishnah, which we're going to learn in a few days, which is really the Seifa of the Mishnah we learned. Mishnahs are all, many times the Gemara divided the Mishnahs into two parts, but it's really one Mishnah. The next Mishnah, which is the Seifa of this Mishnah, cannot possibly follow Rabbi Yehuda. And then you have a big problem. You have the beginning of the Mishnah like Rabbi Yehuda, and the end of the Mishnah not like Rabbi Yehuda. That's a clash, and that's going to be the issue of Reish Lakish. That was a promo. That was the spoiler for next time, which is tomorrow. May we be zoiche to learn Torah b'mesichus, be'ava, Thank you so much to all of you here in Abbas Shalom. Thank you to everybody on Torah Anytime YouTube channel. Hatzlacha, Uvracha, and Refuah Shlema to all who need it. Thank you. Good to see you, parents. You see, you came and you were a big star today. How are you feeling, parents?